Hey guys, welcome to Fantasy Effect episode 36, and it's the week one preview. We finally made it. We are here. We're ready for football. We're brought to you by Dynasty Theory. We're in partnership with Dynasty Daddy, and as always, Fantasy Football Infinity. I got a new chair. It's got rolly wheels, so if you see me moving around, it's because of the wheels. How you guys doing today, McSpanky and Holler?
Good, man. I also have a chair with wheels, and I feel like my
Cool.
ADHD kicks in, and I start wheeling all over my office, and I have to
Yeah.
be cognizant when I'm on a work meeting. I'm like, oh, I should probably sit still for a second.
Yep, same here. I'm not a little kid. I can't roll around, but I'm doing good. I'm stoked for week one. Finally here. It's felt like forever.
Yeah, it's been a very long summer. I've been very excited about the Lions all summer long, just waiting, for the moment we finally get to, see them in all their glory and Dan Campbellness. So
Yes.
It's going to be wonderful. Let's get some recaps.
Yeah, starting out with a bang. I think it's going to be a good game tomorrow.
I do too.
I hope so.
I'm sad that Travis Kelce may not play, to be honest.
I know.
Because if the Lions walk out there and they take this game and Travis Kelce and Chris Jones aren't playing, that's all we're going to hear about is, well, they didn't really beat the Chiefs,
Yeah.
Nobody was out there for them. Well, Patrick Mahomes is still out there.
I mean,
Andy Reid's still out there.
And here's the thing with that too. It's like in the NFL, everyone's talented. It's not like the backups totally suck, right? Like they're still professional football players. So
100%. I don't think Chris Jones will be playing.
I don't think so either.
I bet you. I don't know for sure. I don't think. I would assume Travis Kelce's not playing. I don't think they should be rolling him out there if they're not 100% sure. It's even they don't even know exactly what's going on. Yeah,
they don't need him yet, right? I mean, it sounds like it's just a bone bruise. I guess we're getting into the news. Sounds like it's just a bone bruise, and it's probably like a 2, maybe 3 week timeline. So I bet they just rest until he's ready to go for sure, so that they don't risk re-injury.
Definitely exercise caution, that's for sure. Wes says this is the best looking podcast under the Dynasty Theory name. So thank you, Wes.
Whoa.
We take those.
With my receding hairline and all. Let's go. Okay. So you guys want to start me up?
Let's do it, man. So we're going to do a little bit of kind of fun prop bets. Not necessarily prop bets, but just kind of our predictions for Defensive Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and NFL MVP. How are you going to kick us off with your picks?
Yeah. So I went with, for the Defensive Rookie of the Year, Christian Gonzalez out of the New England Patriots. I've heard a lot about him through the preseason. I think he's going to play really well. Bill Belichick usually has a really good defense. And I just know that, on the defensive side, I know they draft well. So I'm always surprised how bad they draft on the offensive side. But I think it's kind of going to be a toss-up, to be honest, on who it actually will be. But I just think he's going to play right away, and he's going to play a lot of snaps, and I think he's going to be really darn good. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I kind of, took the easy route, Bijan. If I was really betting on this, I think I would probably take Gibbs, just a better bet. But I think the amount that he's going to be used, and this is kind of in my opinion, one of the biggest running backs maybe since Saquon, I would say. And he's probably, in my opinion, bigger than Saquon. I know Breece Hall was up there as well, but he didn't have as much hype as Bijan did. Bijan catches passes. Bijan is just a really, really good runner. So I think he's going to kind of run away with this one. Not to say that Gibbs is not going to have a great season as well, but I just feel like the amount he's going to be used. And then I did not want to just, cop out and say Patrick Mahomes. Again, if I was betting and I really wanted to make some money, I don't think this bet is that good. But if I just, had to put money on it, I would bet on Patrick Mahomes. But all the stars have kind of aligned. I think Jacksonville is going to be a sneaky, sneaky team this year. So my MVP, if that team is going to be good, it needs to come from Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to take a big step forward. Calvin Ridley's there. They picked up Tank Bigsby. So I just think that Trevor Lawrence, if that team is going to be really good, it needs to come through Trevor Lawrence, and I think that will result in Trevor Lawrence being an MVP. I know he also actually is a solid bet. I don't remember the actual numbers, but I think he's like his numbers are pretty. It's like plus.
Well, Lawrence is plus 1,400. I have it pulled up here, so he's. Yeah.
I was going to say
coin.
13. So yeah, 1,400. So that's pretty darn good. And so I just think I won't take away the other one that I was going to say because Spanky put it in there. But yeah, I just think that team I think is going to be really good. I also think that defense they're going to be, maybe if they're playing a good team, they're going to be down. So I think they're going to have a really good offense, and that's going to go through Lawrence.
I like it. I'll go through mine. So defensive rookie of the year. I took a Raiders player, which, you know, well, it is what it is. But Tyree Wilson, he's their defensive end. He was drafted 7th overall. He was kind of talked up as being a potential, you know, 1st, 2nd, 3rd overall, like first defensive player overall. But then he had some injury concerns and he kind of slept a little bit. So the Raiders got him at 7. He's going to play outside of Max Crosby. There's some drama going on with Chandler Jones right now.
Oh my goodness.
Who may not play. We don't need to get into it too much, but Tyree Wilson has a decent chance to start right away, and playing outside of Crosby, he should be getting kind of the lesser of the tackles. Hopefully he does well. Offensive rookie of the year, I took Jahmyr Gibbs. I didn't want to necessarily cop out with Bijan. He's the odd-on favorite, but I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, the narrative I can see here is the Falcons might not be as good, and even if Bijan is awesome, might be kind of like a boring pick, whereas the Lions might be kind of an exciting, maybe win their division. Then Gibbs could be a big part of that, so he might kind of sway some of the media members into voting for him. And then for MVP, I think Mahomes he's the odds-on favorite. But if you want like a dark horse, if you're actually going to put some doubloons on something, I would go with Justin Herbert.
We're really leaning into those Raiders.
I leaned into the pirate theme there a little bit, but Justin Herbert, he's plus 1,200. He got a better upgrade at offensive coordinator. I think he's in for a big season, and that defense bites. So he's going to be throwing numbers all over, throwing a ton of passes. So
same argument as Trevor Lawrence. I think they're going to be down in a lot of games, and I think they're going to be down even more, to be honest. That I think their defense is even worse. So I like that one.
Okay, so for my defensive rookie of the year, it's Mr. Brian Branch. This dude's been knocking down passes all offseason long. He's already the starting nickelback for the Lions as a 2nd-round pick. It's a good thing everybody let him drop to the 2nd round. Thanks, NFL. I went with the chalk Bijan pick because I just think there's no way around Bijan in his top 10 pick. Gibbs has to just have a phenomenal year. I'm not saying, he can't have a phenomenal year, but he's going to have a phenomenal year and still not win it because of the draft capital put into Bijan and the hype that surrounded him up until this point. And then I also went chalk with the Patrick Mahomes. I think he's kind of tough to unthrown at this point in time. The one person that I was going to put as my dark horse is actually Aaron Rodgers, because there's so many people obsessed with Aaron Rodgers and how great Aaron Rodgers is. And if he goes out there and puts the Jets, in contention for a Super Bowl, they're probably going to hand it right over to Aaron Rodgers, a la Michael Jordan style, when he got a couple MVPs, near the end there, when maybe it wasn't so much, still Jordan, but the name is still there.
That's a good call. I don't know. I just think there's a lot of drama with the Jets and always drama.
Oh, I hope there is. I hope he fails miserably. Like, I'm not rooting for that at all. But there's a world where if he succeeds, they just hand him the MVP because of his, past.
I like that for sure.
I like that you just said that. I hope he fails miserably, but I'm not rooting for that. like okay, sure.
Oh, I'm not rooting for him to succeed. That's what I meant, McSpanky. I'm not rooting for him to succeed.
Okay.
We talked about Travis Kelce and his bone bruise kind of a little bit. He should definitely be rested. I wish I said this before the show. I wish he were out there, to play against the Lions, to be honest. I want everybody's best shot. I don't want any,
I know a lot of
scapegoats here.
A lot of fantasy owners that really wish he would be out there as well.
Yeah.
Scott Fishbowl, a lot of people took him first. So
yeah, you got to in redraft, man. Every single redraft league, even my family redraft league, Travis Kelce goes in the first round.
Yeah, I mean that's just your, every someone you could just set it and forget it,
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mr. Cooper Kupp.
That's the thing. So Cooper Kupp, you very easily could have started, Travis Kelce and Cooper Kupp as your first 2 picks, feeling super good about your team, and now you're like, well, crap. Yeah, I'm not going to have either of them. Cooper Kupp is actually more concerning to me. He went to go see some kind of specialist out in Minnesota to figure out what the source of his hamstring problem was, which doesn't bode very well for that. They have a handle on this. And then hamstring issues, they continue just to pop up if they're not all the way healed before you get back into action. So there's a very realistic chance that he starts the season on IR and misses the first month of the season.
Yep. I kind of joked about this earlier when we were chatting, but maybe the Rams actually have their first pick this year, so maybe Caleb will just stay in LA and go on over to the Rams. But honestly, his dad came out and said he might play his senior year, so I don't know what's worse, Carolina or Arizona, or Los Angeles. I don't know what's worse.
Arizona for sure is worse.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%, but I don't really see the Rams aren't very good at rebuilding. They just throw away all their draft picks, like sending for
Brian Burns.
Brian Burns, and they're gonna send multiple first picks for. I know he's good, but they have a bunch of other holes. My goodness.
Listen, you just need a couple studs out there.
They're paying the piper for the Super Bowl when they traded away everything.
Oh yeah,
I don't think they regret a single thing. Though.
I would do it if the Raiders did it and they got a Super Bowl. Here's the thing: we suck anyway, so give me a Super Bowl and I'll deal with it.
Right. For all my 34 years, the Lions have always sucked. So yeah, one Super Bowl is fine with me.
Right.
So, what do you guys think? If Kupp goes onto the IR, do you think any possibility that the Rams ship off Stafford?
Who's going to pay for him? Atlanta?
That's the
thing.
I think it will.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it will depend on how the first couple of weeks go. Say he's on the IR for, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks. The Rams start 0-4. Somebody, when I threw that out there in my own head, and I was just like, who the heck would go and get him? I don't know if there's any team that is good enough and they're missing a quarterback away,
I think if the Falcons start well and Desmond Ridder is holding them back, that could be potentially a landing spot there. Or if someone gets injured,
injury.
Injury would definitely do it.
I don't know, but
that's the only team I can see do it. I mean, maybe the Titans do it.
I thought about the Titans. They have Tannehill.
We saw out Malik Willis and Dobbs last year off the street, though. They probably would not. They would probably just be like, we'll just give it to Derek.
Yeah,
for sure.
Should we move into the week one? Because we got a lot. We got to cover everybody. Okay.
Yeah, we got to haul through these.
Rapid fire.
The Lions at Kansas City. Where do the targets go in Kansas City? We don't know, because now even Travis Kelce is not going to play in the game. So they could be really spread out. Hoping to see a lot of Sky Moore, and we want to see how the Lions deploy Mr. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, I think with Kelce not playing, I think a lot of that's going to go over to Sky Moore. We're hearing a lot about him as well. Even with Kelce going to play, and so I think there's going to be more of Sky Moore. I think Tony will play a little bit more and then get injured. And so, so I think, I don't know. Noah Gray, will he get anything? I don't know. I don't think there's anything there other than with Noah Gray. So it'll be interesting to see. Then running back, it's I don't know. The whole offense I feel like goes through Kelce, so it's going to be interesting tomorrow.
Has Pacheco been cleared for contact and everything? He's all good, right?
Yeah, he's good to go.
Okay.
So I think their game plan is probably going to be getting short, quick passes out, whether they scheme that to Sky Moore or Tony. It sounds like what I heard from the beat writers were Sky Moore, Justin Watson, and Valdez-Scantling were the 3 receivers that were playing the most. And then guys like Rashee Rice, Justin Ross, and Tony kind of had like special packages. So
where's my boy Richie James?
He was
I didn't hear
in that report, so I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't hear much about him either.
Man,
maybe they're trying to hide him.
They might be. That's what I would try to do. I would be hiding Richie for sure too. I wouldn't talk about him at all.
But no, I think Jerick McKinnon will get a lot of checkdowns. Mahomes does check the ball down quite a bit, like more than you would think. I mean, he likes to chuck it deep. Don't get me wrong, but he'll find the open guy, and I think
he's
McKinnon
a smart guy.
Might get some extra work in this one.
Honestly, I'm more excited to see the Lions and see that offense, and just see what all comes together. Sam Laporta, I think he's going to start out fast. Gibbs, I think that offense for the whole year is going to be good. I'm excited.
I'm going to be rock hard for the rest of the episode. We got to stop talking about the Lions. Let's move on to the Bengals. Bengals at Browns. It looks like Burrow is going to play. He's been a full participant in practice. And will Watson return to his past, or will he continue to be a Browns quarterback?
Yeah, I was looking before the start of the show. Deshaun Watson's like over under for passing yards was down at like 228 or something. It was like super low, which I thought was strange in a game where they're probably going to be down and having to throw quite a bit. This game has one of the higher over unders on the week 1 slate, so I don't fully understand that line. I think unless Vegas is just kind of thinking he's, until they see something from him, some kind of improvement, where they're going to keep a low line. Maybe they're just suckering people like me into taking the over, but
I know he had a really rough year last year, but I just pulled it up and he was at 183 yards per game last year. So I think, exactly. So I think, that's probably where that line's coming from. And so they got to, see it before they actually kind of go. But to me, that does seem low because I think that's going to be a high scoring game. And it's, unless Nick Chubb's going to get, 150 yards, I think he's going to be able to get over 200 yards. And so I think Deshaun Watson, this will be kind of, a tell for the season, to be honest, because I know some people say, hey, let's see what happens. But in a game that's going to be high scoring, and if he only puts up, like, say, another, 190, 210 yards, I think that's, not going to be, red flag for sure.
Especially because he's like, if you think about like what you paid for him in dynasty startups, he's pretty consistently kind of early second round quarterback in Superflex league. So
let's think about what the Browns paid him.
Well, that's like they have to make this work. They traded away the whole farm for this dude,
and then they paid a fully guaranteed contract, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's full. Yeah, it's fully guaranteed. There's a lot of talk though too that they're gonna use Nick Chubb kind of more in the receiving game, which I'm interested to see if he starts getting more and more targets. Like if he starts getting work in the passing game, and he's like, he's clearly the best runner on that team. He has a legitimate shot to be RB1 on the season.
Oh, definitely. I agree. Yeah. I'm also excited to see Elijah Moore. He's been hyped up a lot. So it'll be cool to see that. I know, what's his name is going to be seeing the
Amari.
Amari Cooper is going to see the top coverage. Will Elijah Moore be number 2? Will Njoku get more of the work at the second receiving guy?
I don't know if the number 2 will matter because of the whole Nick Chubb factor.
Yeah. I think in like 2 wide receiver sets, I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is still going to play outside, and then Moore's going to come in on the. Well, that's fine, Ron, but I think he's still going to be on the field taking away opportunities from Elijah Moore. It was the point there.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
Let's move on to these 49ers and the Steelers. Kenny Pickett and the Steelers offense getting a real tough test right off the gates, aren't they? Mr. Nick Bosa coming to town. And do we think Brock Purdy can keep everybody fed in San Francisco?
Yeah, he's a distributor of wealth and food here.
John Stockton.
Dude, he delivers, man.
Yeah. That's Carl Malone, the mailman.
I know. As soon as I said it, I was like, I got him mixed up. Well, we're gonna overlook that. I think Brock Purdy for the 49ers side. I think Purdy will do fine. That offense is just very friendly to quarterbacks who can read coverages and throw and execute plays, how they're
Not
supposed
Trey
to.
Lance?
Yeah, I was trying not to say it, but yes. And then I think CMC is going to have a big day.
Yeah.
The thing with this game is I think it's going to be a better real life football game than it is going to be a good fantasy production. So I wanted to, and with Kenny Pickett, I do think he's going to have a nice year. It might be a bad week one.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any concerns playing any guys in your lineup? Maybe like a Deontay Johnson, a George Pickens, maybe. I mean, CMC you're playing, but maybe like an Ayuk. Do you feel comfortable starting those guys this week, or are you going to look for a different option somewhere?
The people I don't feel comfortable starting would be George Pickens, Debo, and Kittle.
Wow.
Because we saw those are the ones that we kind of saw drop off with Purdy, Debo, and Kittle. Yeah. We saw them lose some of their targets, especially with CMC there as well. I mean, they may, like we saw the Lions talk about managing Gibbs to keep him healthy throughout the year. We may see that quite a bit in this week one with CMC as well. We've also heard the 49ers say that. Now, if it's a tight game, I can't see you taking CMC off the field. Yeah. But, Pickens, I just think, like I've always thought about Pickens, that he's just got to be highly efficient, and he's kind of that boom bust. So I need to see what they're going to do with him first. And I know Deontay is going to get the targets. Deontay's always open. He's just going to be peppered with targets. So,
yeah. So that's kind of what I was going to say, too. I feel comfortable starting Deontay, and I feel comfortable starting with, I don't know if it's more just my hype or whatever. I just feel comfortable with Ayuk this year. And I really would need to have somebody in a really good matchup or someone if I wanted to sit Debo. I only have a little bit of Debo shares, so it'd be nice. I'm sure I'll just start him. But the big one I would probably be worried about is Kittle. I know he has kind of been kind of slow, I think, with a little bit of lingering injuries. And so that would be the one that I'm a little worried about starting. But honestly, if you think about it, who's a better option? We might be able to get into some of those later, but I just think it's hard to sit any of those guys, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think if like Debo and some of those guys, you probably took them high enough in startups or if you traded for them, that you probably are in a position where you have to play them.
Sure.
But there is pause for concern there, I think.
Yeah. But I feel totally comfortable with those other guys. And then Pickens would be my other one as well. I just think what Ron said exactly. Boomer bust. He's going to be a boomer bust every week, so we can make that argument every week unless he has a really good matchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got to see it on the field, that's for sure. So on to another field. Panthers at the Falcons here. Bryce Young's day.
What a transition.
You're welcome,
what a transition.
America. So Bryce Young's debut, and Bijan gets a shot to dominate. You guys don't think this Panthers defense is going to step up here and say, Bijan, no.
I don't think so. I think this is Bijan's
coming out party.
Dude. I think he's everybody that took him. I think they're going to be happy with him. If you took him on the 101 in your dynasty, rookie drafts, this is where you get to unleash him. And I think he has a huge day. The Panthers defense is bad, and Bryce Young, man, I hope he does well. It's not going to be week one. I don't think it's going to be year one. So this could be a long day.
Wide receiver to throw to by the weekend.
Yeah.
I saw. Yeah, that's the thing.
So out there.
Yeah, Thielen got banged up in practice, and it sounds like DJ Chark didn't go either, or he was limited.
DJ Chark is always banged up.
So is Thielen, man. This is Thielen's second time getting banged up already in camp, man.
It's gonna be Hurst and
a lot of Miles Sanders.
Yeah. Too bad.
I think Miles Sanders will be good. I just have a hard time with Bryce Young if you're out, work and if you have him is probably not as good on your team there, and so it's fine with him not doing that well. And so I think for sure it's going to take the whole year. But I just think the Panthers are just a meh team, so I just don't. I think it's going to be a rough year altogether. But I hope he does well. And then I'm with you guys. Bijan's going to be great. I think he's going to be great almost every week unless he comes up against a really good defense.
Is this going to be a Kyle Pitts game?
No.
Do we think? No.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
I
to the graveyard.
The rationale there was I don't think the Panthers defense is great, and I think Desmond Ridder, if he's going to have success, it's going to be against bad defenses. And I think this would be the kind of matchup where if Pitts is going to do anything this year, it better be in games like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm off the Pitts ship.
In the pits,
to be honest. Yeah, I tried to move him as much as I could. The last couple weeks, it's hard. Yeah, I think I had a pretty good trade. If I can try to remember off the top of my head, I think it was like Hawk and Travis Etienne for Pitts and crap. I can't remember who the running back was, but I felt like it was a pretty good trade.
I remember.
I just don't remember the running back.
I don't either.
So yeah,
I know.
So I don't know.
I
just think I have a hard time with Pitts. I just think, but I'm with you. If he's going to be, this is the team needs to show up if he's going to show up.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Let's do this one real quick. Buccaneers at Vikings. Baker Mayfield. How does he even finish the game as the starter? Alexander Mattison and Daddy Addy takes flight.
Yeah, I added
Let's go.
I think this is good. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Holler.
I was gonna say let's slow down a little bit. I think Baker Mayfield finishes the game. I think it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, he'll make it through the game.
Yeah, but will he? My big thing is, will he be good enough for Mike Evans and Chris Godwin? That's the trouble, right? And I don't think so either. So I think it's going to be a lot of, hopefully, in my opinion, I hope it's going to be a lot of Chris Godwin. I think Mike Evans is going to be the one that takes a bigger hit. And then, I'm not a Madison fan at all. So I think it's going to be a lot of passing for the Vikings.
Yeah, I think Tampa Bay, generally they have a really good defensive line. And so it usually is harder to run on them, but you could kind of throw on them. So I think Madison, unless he's involved a ton in the passing game, Cousins is going to be throwing out the Jefferson and Hawkinson and hopefully my boy Jordan Addison. But going back to the Tampa Bay side of the ball, I do think Godwin is probably going to be the one that Baker favors. However, there's a bunch of those trade rumors right now for Mike Evans if they're going to trade him. So there's the possibility they might just try to just hammer that home to try to showcase him a little bit. See if they can get a trade offer for him.
Yeah.
I mean, they can try to hammer it home, but can Baker hit a deep ball? Odell's dad put that video out and showed us. You know what I mean? Wow. If you want to see Baker's deep ball, go check it out. Odell's dad will tell you about it. Anyway, some more grossness out in the desert. Arizona, cover your eyes all year long. Can Sam Howell take down the lowly Cardinals? And Holler says, B-Rob.
Let's go. So, in my opinion, this is going to be, I think if you're playing the Cardinals, like, put all your fantasy options in there, to be honest. Like, that's going to be every week's going to be a good week. Like, if you have a defensive spot in your redrafts, go ahead and pick up the defense playing against Arizona. I think that's going to be that's how I play my redraft, is I always just, go week by week and pick up a defense. I never worry about a defense. And so I think it will more depend on how good, we'll see right away how good Washington is, right? I think B-Rob will have a solid game. So I think after this, if he has a really good game, you can go ahead and try to sell. That's something I'm going to do. And then I think he's also a good option for DFS.
He's almost a free square, man. In your starting lineup.
The whole offense is like a free square.
And DFS though, he's only at 5,100 this week, so you can use him, and he'll probably get a decent amount of work, and then you save yourself some extra money, so you can take some better stars. But I agree. I think Sam Howell's going to have a good game. At least I hope so. If he does, that's kind of the same thing. I made the argument with Kyle Pitts earlier with Howell. If he doesn't have a good game against the Cardinals defense, it's going to be a long year, and he's not going to have a good game. But on the Cardinals side, do you feel like you can start any player on their offense?
Not confidently, but I guess you would probably. Oh, geez. I mean, Hollywood is so low down the totem pole at this point. He's probably one of your flexes or fourth or fifth wide receivers, really.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's about it.
I would not feel confident starting
No.
Hollywood. If there's one player I would start, and it's a bummer that the route that they're taking, and because James Conner was somebody that I felt like was a good buy. Probably at least maybe a month ago now, or like 6 weeks ago, we kind of talked about it. And I just feel like now they're just going to be a dumpster fire all year long. And so, but I still think James Conner could get some, there's nobody else there running back wise. So I think he will get some points. But the problem is he needs to get all his points by yards and receptions, because I doubt they're going to get many points.
Will the Cardinals score a touchdown this weekend?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Even the worst of NFL teams can usually muster up one good scoring drive in a game. So I think they'll get one.
And we saw Josh Dobbs last year with Tennessee, and I obviously it's a different team, but I think they'll score a touchdown.
I mean, Dobbs, he just got there, like 2 weeks ago? So how well
he's got familiarity with that OC, but I don't know if they'll score a touchdown, to be honest with you. I really don't. I think Washington's going to have pretty solid defense, at least, and I think Arizona is just that bad down in the dumps. So let's move on to another pretty bad team, and the Texans playing a pretty good team in the Ravens. CJ Stroud with a big test against that Ravens defense. Good luck, CJ.
Yeah, jeez.
Monken and
Welcome
Lamar, 4 million passing yards this weekend, possibly. Also a big J.K. Dobbins game. Who put that one?
That was me. So I'm big on J.K. Dobbins this week. Yep. I think the Ravens are going to be up quite a bit, and this is the kind of game where they're just going to let Dobbins just run it into the ground. And the Texans defense, it maybe is improved. I don't think it's good enough to stop the Ravens offense. Now, the other route I could see here is the Ravens have all offseason talked up this huge, passing attack, and they might just say, all right, Lamar, let's just air this bad boy out like 40 times and just see what we can do.
Rain fire, baby.
Yeah. Do you think that who do you think which I think Andrews are going to get his, but which wide receiver do you think is going to be the beneficiary of that?
I think it's
I was
going
to say Bateman as well. I think Zay will get his, but I think if they're going to air it out, I think the beneficiary is going to be Bateman.
Not week one for Zay. I think sometimes these rookie wide receivers they take a little bit to get going. So I think week one it's probably going to be Bateman and Odell. I think Zay will be used, but I don't think he's going to be the focal point of the offense yet.
Yeah,
I think he's all the juice.
How big a game do you think Andrews can have?
I think Mark Andrews can put up, let's say, a stat line of about 8 or 9 catches, 90 yards, and let's give him a touch.
Woo.
Yeah, buddy. Starting off hot.
That's hot.
I have a couple shares of him in redraft, so that would be wonderful. And yeah, I highlighted J.K. Dobbins as well when I was looking at these games, and I think he's got a very friendly matchup. And I think he's got stuff to prove, so I think he's going to have a good game.
The only pause I have with J.K. is he didn't really practice much during the off season, which is
he's
not
fresh,
a huge.
Baby.
I mean, he's fresh. Yeah, he's definitely fresh. But also, they're playing the Texans, so when you guys say I could see them turn around, handing the ball off a ton of times, run down their throat, well, they'll just do that with Gus Edwards and not, hurt the shiny toy. Gus Bus, baby.
I don't think so.
Bus. If they get up by enough scores, it's happening. Trust me.
Yeah, but if they get up by enough scores, Dobbins probably got his already. Is what I'm thinking.
Fair enough. So this is going to be the ho-hum, I think, game of the week. And that's going to be the Titans at the Saints right here in the middle of the road. Same names, new places, and Derrick Henry. We got D-Hop in a new place. We got Derek Carr in a new place. Those are really the only two people I was thinking about when I wrote that down. And
it works.
Jamal Williams puts up a decent day.
I think it's going to be a good game. I think, like a good, I'm with you kind of with the same Steelers 49ers. I think it's going to be a better football game than like fantasy game. But I'm going to save this for later, but I think the Saints are going to be solid. Like I think Derek Carr will do what he needs to do. I know you've been hurt many times.
Spanky's going to puke.
I've been hurt too many times.
But I just think, I mean, the Saints always put out a good, like, if it's not necessarily a fantasy product, but they always put out a good, product on the field. And so I just think, I think this game's going to be good. And I think, I don't know if it's going to be like this huge numbers game for fantasy wise, but I would still put my people in like Olave. I think Jamal Williams will get a touchdown. I don't feel comfortable playing DeAndre Hopkins. Henry's kind of the only guy there that I would feel good about. And then honestly, this year I like Juwan Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm worried. I mean, they brought in Jimmy Graham, who's made the 53. I mean, Taysom Hill's still there.
That guy's almost as old as my grandpa.
That's fine.
Seems like the Jimmy Graham thing is like just being nice to him.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to retire on the roster.
I thought
they just signed him to retire him.
But then he made the 53. I don't know, man. They have a bunch of tight ends. They do some weird stuff in the red zone too, which is primarily where Juwan Johnson was used. Yeah. I think the running backs are the biggest beneficiary of Derek Carr. Probably Slant Boy, Michael Thomas, while he's healthy. He'll probably get a bunch of short routes too.
For a game.
Until he gets hurt. And the Derek Carr thing, man, I've talked myself into Derek Carr so many times about this is the year. He's a solid quarterback. He's going to do things. He doesn't do things. This is the game. Olave, yeah, dude, he had good receivers in Vegas too, man. He had Devontae Adams last year. He's had Michael Crabtree and Amari Cooper.
He was good with Crabtree and Cooper.
He was fine.
Oh, Lord.
I
I'm not getting this argument again with you, McSpanky, about Derek Carr.
The Titans are the ones that I'm curious to see what they look like. There's been a ton of debate on whether they're contenders or if they're kind of rebuilding, if they're going to trade some of their vets or if they're going to go for it, right? So I think this is the game we're going to see. Does Derrick Henry still have the juice? Does Tannehill, can he still throw the ball around? Is Hopkins washed, or is he a good receiver? Treylon Burks is finally back healthy. He was back at practice. We're going to see what they look like. I'm curious to see what this offense looks like. I think I'm with you, Holler, though. I don't feel comfortable starting DeAndre Hopkins. I don't trust that passing offense until I see it. Derrick Henry, I mean, if you have him, you got to play him.
I think you can trust the volume that D-Hop's going to see just because. Can you? I mean, he's D-Hop and Treylon Burks coming off an injury and pretty ho-hum rookie year. I just think that there's nowhere else to go with the ball. If they're going to drop back and pass, you're going to throw it at D-Hop, and they're going to do it for week one at least. So I think the volume will be there. Now, is it going to be pretty or going to be awesome? Probably not at all. We're probably talking about D-Hop moving the sticks down the field for the Titans.
The Saints have a good defense, though, is what I will say. So the Titans, this could be a very low-scoring game.
With Lattimore on D-Hop.
And that's why I kind of, was saying that I think this is going to be a good NFL game, not a very good fantasy game. I worry about Tannehill. I think Derrick Henry will get his. I don't think he's washed up yet. I think he'll put up another good season. That guy is he gets older every year, but he's the same guy every year.
He's just a freak of nature at this point.
Yeah. So
we spent way too much time talking about this game here. Let's move on to an exciting game. The Dolphins and the Chargers. How many 70-yard touchdowns are scored in this game? Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Devin A-Chain. We got flipping Justin Herbert with Kellen Moore now just chucking up bombs to Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. Maybe if Quentin Johnson can get on the field, we'll see.
Or catch the ball.
Dude, yeah, right. Not alligator arm it. But how many 70-yard touchdowns do we see? 3?
I'm gonna go 0. I don't think we get
0.
I was gonna say 1. 0. But hey, if you were rock hard earlier and you just said A-Chain with the 70, if you had A-Chain with the 70-yard touchdown, whoa!
That baby,
amazing. That would be amazing.
Do you feel like you can play A-Chain though this week? Do you feel okay throwing him in there?
Like a flex.
I feel like if you do, it's because your team is bad.
I'm probably tanking on that team where I'm starting.
I have him on spots that I'm tanking, and I'm going to play him. Obviously, I'm going to play Puka as well, even. And so I just feel like, I think it's good that A-Chain is not is going to play. He's not on the injury report, and he is out there practicing again. And so I just think A couple weeks back. We talked about if I needed to change my little blurb, and I don't think I do. I think A-Chain it's not going to be game one, even though this game they're going to put up a lot of yards and a lot of points. I don't think it's going to be game one. I think he's going to, maybe if he does get, it's going to be a 50 to 70 yard run that he, just breaks off because he's a speedster. But I think he'll get a couple passes, or excuse me, a couple catches, and some yards. But I just don't feel if my team is good, I don't feel comfortable starting A-Chain.
The name we haven't mentioned yet that I think is probably one of the best plays is Raheem Mostert, man. He's
sure.
Jeff Wilson's on IR. Mostert, A-Chain is probably going to get like a package. He's not going to get the full workload. Mostert, like the Chargers defense is pretty bad. You can run on them. Yep. Raheem Mostert, man, he's fast when he's healthy and ready to go. Like he's always really good.
That's the thing, though. Is he going to stay healthy throughout the game?
Dude, sometimes it doesn't matter. Like sometimes he'll break off like a 60-yard touchdown run, and then he gets hurt later, and you're like, well, whatever. He got off, right?
From there,
So I don't think it matters.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And I think this is a very friendly matchup with both defenses aren't very good. So I think everybody, all those good players are going to put up points. So this is going to be a good fantasy game here.
Should be an explosion.
This has the highest over/under on the slate for week one, which is exciting. I think Herbert, Tua, if you're playing DFS, like just throw anybody in the starting lineup in these games and they should give you some points. So I think this is going to be it's going to be fun. I think Herbert's going to have a big game. I think I'll go out. I'll say he goes over 300 yards and three touchdowns in this game.
Yep.
Okay. Easy.
I think Eckler has a big game as well.
I think Eckler has a big game. I think Big Mike Williams gets in the end zone. Keenan probably has a good game. Like I even Gerald Everett, I think, is going to have a nice game here.
Yeah. Finally gets the Gerald Everett in that number 7. It looks so weird on a tight end. Let's move on to what's probably going to be a kind of boring game because it's a Patriots game and it's the Eagles at the Patriots. We finally get to see B.O.B. Unleash Mac Jones once again.
Oh, God.
We no longer have to see that Matt Patricia offense. Thank goodness. You guys think Jalen Hurts can continue his fantasy dominance? And what's the running back splits look like?
So that was the thing. So we know that the Patriots, what they do well, right, is they take away what an offense does best and makes them beat them with their second option. So do you think that means AJ Brown just gets bracketed and he's gone? Or do you think that means they're going to take away Jalen Hurts' ability to run and make him just throw? And
they're going to make him throw.
Trust their corners to line up against Devontae Smith and AJ Brown.
The ball.
I think so too. So I think Hurts is probably going to have a lower rushing game. I still think they're fine, but I mean, what do we think about these running backs? Like, I mean, do you trust any of them? Do you think any of them? Did they just like split it? Like, did you see their? Okay, did you see their depth?
I saw
that. By the way,
they didn't even. They just put all like.
They just straight up put
together.
Every name and then slash the next player.
Yeah.
Like they didn't do like an or a first, second, third team. They just put every running back on their roster. I was like, okay. So this is going to be ugly.
Sorry, we all started reading this guy's question, didn't we?
Higgins and Godwin. I'd put Keenan in over Godwin, to be honest.
Keenan. Oh, yeah. You got to play Keenan over Godwin, I think, there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine.
We haven't got to the Jets game yet, but we can talk about that a little bit more. But yeah, I would feel comfortable putting in Keenan over Godwin. I need to see what's going to happen with the Bucs offense. We kind of talked about it earlier, but yeah, I want to see what's going to happen there.
There's for we didn't really read it. We all read it individually. So here's for the audio listeners, the question was Stephon Diggs, T. Higgins, and Chris Godwin are in his lineup as his top 2 receivers in a flex, and then he has Keenan Allen and Alan Lazard on his bench. I think Diggs, Higgins, and Keenan are the 3 I would play there.
Yep. Hey, congrats on graduating too. I saw your picture there. Good job, man. Packers at Bears. I almost tried to skip over it, didn't I?
You forgot one game, by the way.
What?
Jacksonville and Indianapolis.
Oh, geez, Louise. How did I miss that? Well, we'll get to that one.
Yeah.
We'll put it at the end. Jordan Love finally on display. We'll see if he really does throw a touchdown on every single pass he throws, like the Packers beat reporters. Dubs and Watson not practicing as of Wednesday. That's not great. Justin Fields to DJ Moore, I'm also excited to see. Holler, what do you think about this without Dubs and Watson out there? Jaden Reed good to go, or the Bears going to just lock this down?
I think it's going to get out of hand, to be honest. If both of those guys don't play, I think it might get out of hand. I know that's going to, think a little crazy, but I'm not a Jordan Love guy. But I do think Aaron Jones, there's going to be a lot of Aaron Jones if both those guys aren't going to play. I think, to be honest, if I was betting on this, I think both of those guys are going to play. And I think it's, going to be they're going to be okay. And they're going to go out there. They're going to trot them both out. And I just think the Bears are going to be pretty darn good. Justin Fields, DJ Moore is going to be a lot. I think the running offense should be pretty good. And I just think Justin Fields is going to, show what he's out about.
Yeah, he's about running that ball, that's for sure, and just hitting DJ Moore all day. I wanted to see, Jordan Love with his full set of weapons, so we could, see what this offense is going to be. Because
they might play still. They just
that's what
today.
This is just I don't think this is the year for the Bears. They're still trying to figure themselves out. So I know the Bears have a good safety in Jaquan Brisker back there. Let's see if they have any other good DBs. But
Justin Fields, I think, will have a nice opportunity to throw. The Packers defense is good. The one thing I would say is I don't know what the over-under is on this game, but it's not going to be enough. I would just smash the under. I don't think they're scoring a lot.
Yeah. The Packers are?
No, I don't think anybody's scoring.
I don't either. Okay, move on to the next sorry, McSpanky, kind of boring one here. Raiders at Broncos. McSpanky says, Raiders, welcome to Club Dub. Was Hackett the problem or is Russ the problem? And will Josh Jacobs defend his rushing title?
So to answer the first question, was Hackett or Russ the problem? I think it was both. And I think Russell has problems, man. He's not the same guy that he was. I don't think he's a good fit for Sean Payton's offense either. And I think this offense might look bad, especially week one. I don't think Judy's playing with the injury he has. So I think Marvin Mims goes in the starting lineup. He's a rookie.
Let's go.
Week one. Cortland Sutton, he hasn't been the same since his ACL injuries. And Javonte Williams is coming back. He might get eased in. So Samaje Perine might be their best running back. I think the Raiders, and I know I'm a Raiders fan, so this might be a homer take, but I really think the Raiders come in and spoil Sean Payton's debut here. The Raiders, all offseason, all training camp, I heard about how better their defense was, and I think they're going to show it. I think Max Crosby and Tyree Wilson are going to get after a bad Broncos offensive line, make Russ uncomfortable. Josh Jacobs is back. He's going to run all over this defense. Now I'm just going full blown. And then Jimmy G, man, his Raiders debut. I think Garoppolo has a really good game. We've seen what quarterbacks who fit in Josh McDaniels' offense do. I mean, last year Jarrett Stidham threw like almost 400 yards against the Niners. So I think there's no reason that Jimmy G and Devontae Adams can't have like a big game here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just going to be a knockdown, drag out. We're running the clock out. Let's all run the ball. I don't know that Josh Jacobs can defend his rushing title. I don't think so either. I think the seams are busting loose at busting loose there in Las Vegas with all the Raiders, New England West kind of deal.
I think it's more that, I mean, who's the last running back that repeated as the rushing champ? It's been a long time, right?
Yeah.
I think it's more. I think
did
it's
AP
more
do it?
I want to. That was going to be my guess.
Right.
Him or LT. Probably.
And I'm with you, Spanky. I think the Raiders are going to, because their defense, I think they're going to spoil Denver and spoil Sean Payton's debut. And I just think mainly because I don't think the Broncos are going to be very good. And so I just, they're not going to have their best wide receiver
too.
They do, but I think that's
Patrick Surtain to lock Devontae down.
Okay, well then you
still
still have Renfro and Jacoby Myers, and you gotta figure out how you're gonna stop Josh Jacobs. So
I love me some Renfro.
I like Jacoby Myers this year, but I think Josh Jacobs is going to get his, and I think that the defense is going to stop Russ. I think I'm with you 100%. This is not a good fit with Russ with Sean Payton, and so we're seeing a little bit of drama coming out of Las Vegas. But is that the player, or is that Chandler Jones? Is it him or is it the team? I think it's more Chandler Jones in my opinion, because I kind of remember him having drama a little bit everywhere where he's been, and so I just think that that defense has some dogs. So I just think that they're gonna shut down the Broncos.
All right,
I'll never support Josh McDaniels. Yep. All right, let's go. Super speed here. Rams at Seahawks. Stafford's favorite wide receiver, not named Cooper Kupp. Walker versus Charbonnet. Will Gino continue to succeed in his target distribution between Metcalf, Lockett, and JSN?
Yeah, so quickly on Stafford, I think the Rams offense is going to be bad. I think Puka as far as receivers, or maybe Vance Jefferson. I think I really think Higbee is going to be the biggest beneficiary here.
Yeah.
And then on the Seattle side, I don't think JSN's going to have a huge game just coming off of the injury. It sounds like he is going to play, though. I think it's going to be a Metcalf and a Lockett game. And then I still like Kenny Walker. I think Charbonnet is going to get kind of eased in. I think he's going to have a role, but it's probably going to be like a special, like a package. And Walker's going to get the bulk of the carries, especially week 1.
So I love carbs, and I wish I remember. I need to start writing these down, but I saw somebody on Twitter say that Charbonnet is going to outscore Kenneth Walker. I'm like, there's no way for the year. And I love Charbonnet, and I disagree there. So
unfollow that person.
I'm a Rams homer, but I can't say anything like you both said about your team. So we can just move right along.
Okay. We got Jacksonville at Indianapolis. Anthony Richardson's first game, and Calvin Ridley or Christian Kirk.
I've been on the Christian Kirk over Calvin Ridley train all offseason. I'm going to stick with it. I think T-Law has a really big game here. Indy's defense is in shambles.
Yeah.
I think Bigsby and Travis Etienne might be nice plays, just because I think Jacksonville gets up and there's going to be a lot of room to run. Anthony Richardson, I'm really curious to see how well he does. I think week 1 might be ugly. Jacksonville doesn't have a great defense, but dude, the Indianapolis offense is a mess right now. So that could be ugly for them.
I think it's going to be a lot of running for Richardson this week. It could be a lot of running this whole year, to be honest.
For his life.
Right. And so I think this week again, Ridley versus Christian Kirk. I'm with you on Christian Kirk, and I think Ridley's going to be solid. But I for the whole offseason, I've just disliked where he's been going. I don't necessarily dislike him. I know he's been gone for a year and a half, but I just think Christian Kirk has a good rapport with Trevor Lawrence, and Trevor Lawrence is going to have a really good game.
Okay, moving right along here. The America's team, the Cowboys versus the Giants on Sunday Night Football. Mike McCarthy to call plays. This is the first time since Aaron Rodgers, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah. And 10 billion targets to Darren Waller in the first quarter.
I agree.
I think that's pretty spot on. I think from the Giants side, they're probably going to just nothing drastically different from last year. Saquon just going to run that dude into the ground, see what he's got. But now they have Darren Waller who can help spell him a little bit. The Cowboys side of the ball, I mean, I think it's going to be a lot of Tony Pollard. I don't know. Yeah, I'm interested to see how Ferguson does at tight end. And then I think CeeDee's going to get his because he's the best receiving option they have.
Another one
Mike McCarthy has me so panicked about this Cowboys offense. And I don't know, just thinking back to the whole Mike McCarthy's fault, that Aaron Rodgers couldn't throw for 1 billion passing yards this game. And maybe it was because Aaron Rodgers is kind of a dickhead and just is like, I'm not doing this.
Yep.
Anyway,
I think you're right. I think one person that could be sneaky is Brandon Cooks. I think he's
going to
get
Mr. Cooks.
Get his. They have not had a number 2 wide receiver like that in a long time. I feel like.
What about Michael Gallup?
No,
no,
that guy's always injured. No. So they haven't had somebody like Brandon Cooks in a long time. I don't know if they ever have with Dak Prescott, and so I think Cooks can be a pretty good sneaky play.
Because Brandon Cooks does he still have the juice?
That guy just puts up numbers, dude. I think so.
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys that I think he's kind of Keenan Allen-ish in the fact that, he just survives no matter where he is. I mean, he was good down in Houston. Jeez Louise.
With Davis Mills, dude. That guy. So I think he's going to be solid. Maybe he doesn't put up the same amount of numbers this year, but I think he's going to still put up solid numbers like WR4.
And to cap off the entire weekend, we got the Bills at the Jets. See what I'm talking about? Aaron Rodgers being the dark horse, MVP candidate. He gets Monday Night Football week 1.
And if they beat, I don't think this is going to happen, but say they beat the Bills and it's just like, oh my gosh, Aaron Rodgers.
They might.
I don't know.
Possible.
Man. That Bills pass rush, dude, and the Jets offensive line.
You could scheme around that. The Jets defense, I actually have a little bit of concern for. I mean, obviously, your Bills players, you're going to start them. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't start like Gabe Davis or Kincaid probably, just because I think Diggs and Allen, obviously, you're going to start them. Maybe James Cook, but the Jets defense is good, man.
Maybe.
And now that.
Love me some James Cook this year.
And I know, but here's the thing: like the Jets defense is good. I don't think you're going to be able to run on them very, very well, and so he's going to get involved in the passing game, which is fine. But this is like a sneaky, low scoring game to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Could be. Give me the Bills still. But
also,
how did we miss this? It's a cook off.
It is a cook-off. Oh, that's
it's
right,
literally
dude.
a cook-off, dude.
Monday night cook-off.
Yeah,
baby.
Let's go.
Brother versus brother. Let's get it.
It'll be interesting to see. I think you. I don't know who put this down, but I think it'll be interesting to see how Brees and Cook split. I think it's going to be obviously different with Brees coming back. They're going to ease him in, I hope. So I'm really hoping that that it's like 60-40 Cook right now, and then that kind of shifts over to like 70-30 Brees.
Yeah, that'd be real sweet for my Brees.
Yep.
Should we move into the 2-minute drive?
Let's do it.
All right. Dan Campbell, it's your time. That's all I have to say. Don't let me go on any more Lions rants.
All right. Real quick, just a plug for the Dynasty Theory Discord. We have a weekly DFS contest. If you want to come play with us, I think all 3 of us are in this week.
Yes,
yes, sir.
And I know Dan and Mitch from the Dynasty Theory podcast are in this week too. So if you want to come play with us, come join the Discord. Come join. It's a fun contest every week. We have fun there.
Yeah, it is a very fun one. You get to brag
I put this in
Discord if you win.
Oh yeah, it's some a little bit of money and a bunch of pride. I put this in for Spanky. I think the Saints, I was looking at it. I think the Saints are going to get a first round bye. They have the easiest schedule. And so they, like I said earlier, they put a good product out on the field. If they have an easy schedule, I think they're going to win a lot of games. It may not be a super high scoring game, but I think they're going to win a lot of games because their defense is going to keep them in the game. A lot of it will depend on Derek Carr. But I just think the Saints are a sneaky top 2 team.
So, in the playoffs now, you have to be the 1 seed to get the bye. Everyone else is because there's 7 that make it. So I don't see how they're getting the best overall. I don't think they're beating the Eagles or the Niners to get to that. I think best case they get to the 3 seed if they win their division.
All right. Well, I'm doing this 2-minute with my hot take every week, so that's why I'm doing that.
Fair.
All right. And on that note, you guys ready to get out of here?
Yeah, man. Let's do it. We got football tomorrow. Enjoy.
Let's go.